There's something shifting in the air. You might have noticed it too. PewDiePie, one of the biggest YouTubers, is creating videos about tech and coding, and you have the new Steam machine, which is using Linux on ARM. Yeah, things are happening fast, and that's what I'm talking about today. For a long time, computers have felt like this nerdy and cumbersome thing. I know it might not feel that way for everyone watching this video, but to a large part of the population, that's how they see it. A lot of people only use computers, primarily laptops, for school or work, and all of those are likely running bloated software that makes the experience way less than pleasant. But I feel that we are experiencing the beginning of a change. I think we are entering an era where people can take control of their devices more than ever, and the hardware is finally catching up to that ambition. I know a lot of CS students right now are struggling. The job market is tragic. There's layoffs in the news every time, and it feels like the traditional path is getting harder and harder. But at the same time, the options for what you can do are also growing rapidly. It seems to me like you aren't just limited to a traditional role like a web dev or a data scientist anymore. Actually, I'd argue the barrier for entry for creating apps and software is lower than ever. We have tools now like Kotlin multi-platform, which allow you to write logic once and run it everywhere. And you also have AI, which can teach you things in a way that works for you and at your own pace. And then you have the hardware, like the new Steam machine, putting a full Linux environment into the hands of people, or the wider adoption of ARM CPUs outside of Apple and smartphones. It's like everything is coming together to make for one hell of a time to get into not only programming, but a new way to use your personal devices. Let's talk about the new Steam machine for a second. For a long time, most gaming was done on consoles, and then PC gaming started to become more and more prevalent. But still, everything took place on Windows. But now, with Valve pushing SteamOS, millions of people suddenly have a Trojan horse in their homes. You buy it to play games, but underneath, you have the potential for incredible freedom. You actually own the machine you're using in a way that we haven't felt in a long time. And maybe you think this is not that impactful because not a lot of people compared to the world population is going to end up using the Steam machine. But it's the cascading effects it could have in the industry. Starting with the competition, the consoles from Sony and Microsoft, it has the potential to create something that begins a wave of change. Speaking of consoles, I come from a gaming background. Actually, I think a lot of us do. And I have to be honest, I spent a long time getting invested into online games a few years ago. I would grind for hours, days, so many sleepless nights, only to eventually feel like it was all a big waste of time. Not because I actually wasted my time, but because at least in those online games, it felt like I also didn't own the reward for my hard work. And the fake achievements that those games presented to me could have come from something like getting better at programming instead. However, don't think I am trying to say gaming is bad. I think people that play games have already learned so many things just by playing them, and we can use that as a gateway into other skills that maybe they think are beyond them. Instead of just consuming games, let that curiosity of how does this work drive you to look under the hood and explore new things. Solving problems with code and non-code tools can be a gateway to just about anything. Programming doesn't have to be only about a career. It can also be about having better control over your devices and your tool and your life. Just like PewDiePie. Actually, the main reason why I had the idea for this video was because of him and his recent videos about Linux and hardware and AI. I'm not gonna explain who he is in case this video reaches an audience who don't know, but this guy pretty much defined the let's play genre of gaming videos on YouTube, and he became one of the biggest YouTubers from his time. I mean, he's still going, he's still making videos, but he has been exploring a lot with his content. He has even started learning programming to be able to achieve some of his passion projects. And you go and you watch his videos, and you notice why he's doing it. He's not doing it to get a job at FANG, he's doing it to solve his own issues. He's making hardware, he's tinkering with AI, he's messing around with Linux and everything else. He had a problem or something he wanted to achieve, and he went after the answers to fix it. I think he's the perfect case for someone that used to play a lot of games and is now showing that he's also capable of tackling any kind of coding or PC knowledge problem. And I think everything that he has done so far, with the exception of creating a beast of a PC that costs way too much for your average person, everything else is really achievable for anyone. My hope is that with all these changes happening in the world around the same time, everything will magically come together to offer everyone a better and easier time with their own devices. You have ARM, which can stand to offer way better battery life and performance than x86 CPUs in the long term. You have Linux creeping in, showing people that weren't paying attention what it can do and what it can be. I mean, for the record, it was already powering a lot of servers and machines out in the world, but it's not something that the average user knows a lot about. But now it's about to be in the Steam machine, and if that starts to threaten the other consoles, maybe the next generation of consoles will all include a desktop. And imagine if Xbox makes another console and it includes a desktop. They're obviously not going to use Linux, they're going to use their own Windows OS. But if players won't buy it because the Steam machine is better, and that is using Linux, then Microsoft will be forced to try harder with their OS. Even if it takes a while, because they have other business customers they care more about. And the same goes for if the next generation doesn't include desktops. If the Steam machine can be scary enough to make them act, sooner or later the landscape of PCs and PC gaming and everything that people experience when using their PCs will definitely start changing. And that brings me to this channel. What I talked about is exactly what I'm trying to do with this channel. I'm not here to just grind leak code and do something while I try to get a software job. I'm here to explore ideas, explore what ifs, and make using code less scary and more interesting. And I'll be doing just that with all that gaming experience I talked about, to hopefully show all the parallels between the things we already know and how we can use it to accomplish great things. So if you've been dumping hours into games or any other media, then that's great. It means just like me or PewDiePie, you have absorbed hours and hours of teachings without even knowing. So if you want to know how things will play out in the near future with ARM, Linux, or you want to know what you can learn from this channel, then subscribe below. Don't be shy. And then check out this video on your screen right now. Okay, that's all for now. See ya.